so much, everyone, for staying with us. So President Bola Tinubu has approved the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund to facilitate effective infrastructure development across the pivotal areas of agriculture, transportation, ports, aviation, energy, healthcare, and education in Nigeria. The fund will invest in critical national projects that will, among other things, promote growth, enhance local value addition, create employment opportunities, and stimulate technological innovation and export. The president made his announcement yesterday. Let's get some insight now on what this means and where these monies will be coming from and what exactly is the purpose which this is to serve. Of course, the objectives are out there and the areas, the pivotal areas which this fund is supposed to target are already there. Aliyu Audu is the essay to the President of Public Affairs. He joins me to shed light on some of these issues. Thank you so much, Mr. Audu, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Sharon. Good evening, Nigerians.
Yeah, so intervention fund, infrastructure fund. What give birth to this?
Economic stability, signs of economic stability bettered this. You know, for whatever reason, a lot of people still don't understand the fact that it is up to us to determine how much we can get out of a stable environment. You know, but ensuring stability requires certain critical decisions to be made. And we have to make those decisions. And we are going to have to endure the immediate inconveniences, because at the very sign of working policy, it's the sign that there's actually light at the end of the tunnel. This is where we are right now. We are seeing stability across board, and the real sector is going to gain some level of renewed hope, you know, through this renewed hope infrastructure investment that is going to come in. I mean, what this is been, we have looked at, the government, Mr. President has looked at all of the similar project ventures in the past, you know, what they've been able to achieve, where the challenges were, what needed to be done right, and he has put them into what this is, and he has created the enabling environment where investors across board, both locally, internationally, see sense of direction in what he's doing. They see stability, you know, they see normalcy returning, and there've been a lot of, you know, contacts from different angles as to people who want to invest in Nigeria. There've been a lot of, you know, inflow of foreign direct investment. This as a result of, you know, the people seeing the direction we're going, and they can experience stability.
So this fund was announced yesterday by the president. It was approved yesterday by the president.
Yes.
So this is different from the budgetary allocation in this different sector, because it touches on aviation, roads, rails, transportation, education. So this is totally different. This is a special pool of funds, majorly for infrastructure.
Now, the budgetary allocation is just a subset of the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund as it is. It's just a part of it. You know, I mean, if you go back to the promises of Mr. President during the campaign, he highlighted the fact that the infrastructural demand of Nigeria today is so enormous that we will need to pump in as much as $35 billion every year to be able to catch up for the next 10 years. The government does not have that money, amongst other things. And the only way to achieve this is to apply whatever you have judiciously, and you have to be smart about it. And you have to use your application to create solutions to problems that you have identified, because the way the law works, you know, it's about, we are here praying for rain, but we don't go about with our umbrella. It's that we don't think it's going to rain, but we know what we are doing is right. Then we know what is supposed to be done next. And that, I mean, you know, we talked about policy, program, then projects. This is a program, you know, because we've seen the workability. Results have shown that the policies are right. You know, it didn't really come.
Which of the policies would you say is right?
All of the policies made so far: removal of subsidy, what's it called? The unification of forex. They're all right. in every sense of it.
Are they achieving the results?
Oh, yes. That is why we are able to build on it and bring in. That's why, Mr. President, I mean, it's signed
the economic climate is not looking like what you're describing.
What do you mean economic climate?
But the indices.
What are the indices? What do the figures show you?
The inflation rate.
Global. That's global.
I'm talking about Nigeria. If we are to discuss global economics, we'll get into that. But let's talk about Nigerian economy. Let's talk about the inflation rate in the last two cycles, two releases by the NBS.
Mr. Sheung.
Let's talk about food inflation.
Mr. Sheung, there have been a lot of reason for shortages of food supply from the agricultural sector, and if we look back at how this has been, then we tell ourselves that we should not be so quick to I'm not even talking about the current government, but even the previous government. Because when we look at where we were some 10 years ago, when it was raining, how we failed to save, even though we were warned by the managers of economy locally and internationally, then we refused. I think it's us hoping that miracle prayers going into church or mosque or fasting will fix our problem. No, they don't. You've got to work to fix your problem. Nigeria works when Nigerians work. Prayers don't fix problem. And it takes time. We need to get used to that. It's not magic. It's not like you do. It takes time. We're going to have to. We put ourselves in this. We did.
What do you mean by we put ourselves?
Oh, yes. The contractors, the past leaders, the regular. We sacrificed value for money as a people. We worship money. Mr. President can't say that enough. We need to move our mindset from the idea of worshiping money. We've forgotten what value is. And everything we want to do is money. We have rich people whose value to the society we can't even point at. But that is what Mr. President is trying to return. Let's have value for ourselves. Let's have value for what we do. Let's demand value for every second, every penny that is paid, whether public or private. That's where we are. And that's what the renewed hope is about.
This particular infrastructure fund that the president is talking about, is this fund going to be borrowed?
Now, like I was saying, part of it is going to be, the fund first is going to be managed by the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. You know that the federal government, state government, and the local government, they're in charge. This is collective. The three tiers of government have that. It's just going to be managers of these funds. However, the real source of this fund, budgetary allocation is just a part of it. All the other possible, we have a number of lined up investors from across the world who are interested in investing in infrastructure in Nigeria. Some of them have started coming in, but this is like it's not an SPV now. It's just that program that directs how whatever we are going to invest in infrastructure is an improvement of where we are coming from. Where we are coming from, we do infrastructure like feasibility, like we do it for the sake of it. No economic attachment to it, no value chain, no nothing. We spend 1.2 billion project building bridges, and you go to the community. There are no new businesses. There is nothing that impacts in that place. It's just contract money moved from federal government to private pockets, and you see what you see.
Is that not going on right now?
No, it isn't.
This economy.
No, it isn't. I can tell you that it is.
So let's look at quickly, because I have a few grounds to cover in terms of what this fund is meant to be, and I'm curious to know whether or not this is not in the usual way that they create programs and funds, and at the end of the day, we do not see value for it. But the objectives are very clear from what the federal government has put out there to establish innovative infrastructure investment, to attract and consolidate capital, serving as a dynamic driver for economic advancement, to execute strategic and meticulously chosen national infrastructure projects across several key sectors, efficiently utilize and aggregate accessible low-interest loans such as concessionary loans and Euro bonds, guarantee Nigeria secures the most advantageous arrangement for financing, construction, and subsequently operation and maintenance of the identified projects. Now, this is the areas that interest me the most. The areas that have been selected, the pivotal areas, has been described by the federal government for this fund. One is agriculture. And let's look at some of the projects that this government said it wants to execute under agriculture. The establishment of national food storage facilities. Can you tell us what this is all about, if we don't already have some of this?
All right. The National Communication Team, led by the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, the Special Advisor on Information Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, the Senior Special Assistant, Mr. Tunde Rahman, and Tunji, Ortega, Egudada, myself, and a host of others took a tour of agricultural initiative of the last government. Went to Jigawa, the Hadeja Jamari water project, the dry irrigation farming, and I tell you that it was exciting to see that we have hectares of land cultivated in the dry season. I'm not talking about hearsay. I went into the farm, I felt them myself. We saw them harvesting corn that were planted in this January. Then the width, in regime that we saw was planted, I think it was December or thereabout, dry season, and we saw the water project. It means we are beginning to apply our experience, our knowledge over the years. We are beginning to show sense of determination to succeed as a people. See, I'll give credit to the Jigawa state government. At some point, the previous government, Lamido, invested in infrastructure heavily. Then the last government invested in agriculture, and they are reaping the result right now. It's a peaceful town, very peaceful, purposeful, hardworking. We were driving through the town and there were no people, waving you, because they were. By the time we got towards the farm area, we saw a lot of people, they were in farms. So it is not as whether it has been done before. It's that all of these that were done before, we have seen where the lapses are, and we are improving on it. This is what the renewed hope means. It's not just.
And for example, this agricultural focus on the agriculture, national food storage facilities, irrigation system, ranching,
entire value chain.
So, and
the entire agricultural
the document says that it's going to be spread across the different regions of the country.
Oh yes, and part of that is the real part of it is a dedicated, purposeful what's it called, design for progress. We're looking at the rail that will join the urban cities, looking at roads that will join cities where that will focus on agricultural infrastructure, roads that leads to farm, roads that connect cities. These are the direction that we need to start putting in our money, so that the real sector, and what this is coming to do is just work with the private sector, local and international, to raise the required funds, to develop an intentional, a deliberate infrastructure that is designed to support a growth that is already planned on. Mr. President has a 28 trillion naira budget. He didn't think he was going to borrow. He trusted himself enough to be able to make the right decision and get us out of where we are.
I'm still curious as to where these funds are going to come from.
I just told you there's the budgetary allocation. Yeah. Then we're going to have PPPs. We already have people.
So it's going to be private sector, foreign investments,
and local investment.
And there won't be borrowing at all. Would there be borrowing to fund this?
We won't have to borrow
at all.
I'm not telling you. See, now this is where we get it clear. If we get to the stage where all bets are off, where everything else doesn't work and borrow is the way, trust me, we will borrow. But I'm saying we won't get there.
All right, let's look at other projects like port revitalization. This government says that with this scheme, this program, it will rejuvenate port facilities and associated infrastructure, modernizing port facilities, implementing advanced monitoring system in aviation, and said they will upgrade most of the airports. They will do a comprehensive refurbishment, improvements in terminal facilities, runway expansions, implementation of cutting-edge technologies, enhanced safety and operational efficiency. In road, there are specific focus on Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, the Sokoto-Badagry Road, and they say they will enhance connectivity, facilitate transport efficiency, and stimulate economic development across regions. And rail infrastructure, they will focus on the Lagos-Kano and the Eastern Rail Line. These are some of those things contained in this document. And is there a timeline for the achievement of all of this?
Yeah, if if you go through some of this, you find out that there's something seemingly, I mean, it has something that looks like what we had in the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund. I mean, I saw plenty of work, you know, on our road trip between Kanu to Ringim, all of those. I saw plenty of their project done there. But like I told you earlier, there are areas, especially in process and project management. You understand? Process and project management that was not, you know, put into play. We did not apply our experience, we did not apply our knowledge. What this renewed hope infrastructure has aimed to improve on that is, you see, when a project has been designed, I mean, there is a workflow. The detail of it now we'll get to in short time is that when a project has been established to be essential to national development, and everything, all of the stakeholders agree on what this should be, the costing, the process. As a matter of fact, the contractors are going to have to submit a certain kind of report at certain stages to demand work done that will require all stakeholders' investigation to approve before funds are released. And this will have to be in line with the scope, time, and cost. I mean, we're talking stability. All of the things that have affected contracts over the years are like things that we do not control. If you live in an economy where you sell oil, then you make money, then you go and set it on fire, which was what we're doing in subsidy and in bailing out Naira. Right now, Naira is strong enough, and in all of these projects, we are going to create collective value upon which Naira will reflect its actual value.
So as this government highlighted the timeline every year of what it wants to achieve so that we can be able to keep track. And the question in my mind is, what makes this government different? This sounds like what we have seen and heard before. There are lofty good ideas that past governments have brought out to the public, but it does not materialize. How is the Tinubu government different in this kind of project?
Because it's the man who knows how prepared he is, and he's assured of victory, and he knows his ability, he believes in himself. You see, the good thing about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is like he's the average Nigerian. We believe in ourselves. Especially we know we have what it takes against all odds, and we always prove it. But in the private sector, he did it. As a senator, he did it.
The last 9 months,
as a Lagos State governor,
I'm asking a simple question.
I am telling you that 9 months is too early in the life of 48 months administration to want to ask if you should doubt him, especially when his track record speaks volume as to how to decide.
So you're asking Nigerians to trust the president?
Oh yes, trust in the process.
Across the nation, there will be, it will literally turn Nigeria into a construction site.
Take that to the bank.
So between now and when should we expect the kickoff of this fund, the actual hitting the ground and tilling the ground on some of these?
Before the beginning of the third quarter, you know, for all of the process involved. I mean, this president has stressed enough how expedited he wants this to be. And everybody in the team understand. You can see the body language. I mean, we know what it is when you come up with a very beautiful strategy and mixed culture that is very rotten, but gradually, they believe that we can dig ourselves out of this. They believe that the solution to our problem is in us. It's coming in, and you're seeing that movement. So it is creating that hope that, yes, what I see at the end of the tunnel is actually light. And if I play my part, the light will be brighter.
Aliyu Audu is an SA to President Bola Tinubu on public affairs, and has been speaking with us on the planned infrastructure fund of the Tinubu government. Thanks so much indeed for your time.
Thank you for having me, Shehu.
Yeah. That's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.